The water crisis in Asia. Water is the most essential thing for life on this planet, and without water, ecosystems can perish and cause mass extinctions. This could be the future of Asia. Asia is currently having a water crisis that is making global news. Recent events and changes in Earth's temperature is causing sea levels to rise, but at the same time is also causing drought, which puts certain areas at risk for falls. These droughts are already seeing a surge in occupational health, seeing more people affected, and basic human needs are harder to be met. Asia is the world's largest continent by both size and population, having both Russia, which is the largest country by size, and China, which is the most populated country. Apart from Russia being involved in a war with Ukraine, Asia's water crisis is also one of the biggest global news in recent years. Speaking of wars, in South Asia, conflict over fresh water has strained relations between India and Bangladesh, as well as India and Pakistan. In the future, or maybe even now, diminishing and degraded freshwater resources could lead to internal instability in many nations, and possibly even spark interstate conflict wars. But what exactly is happening, you may ask? Well, let me explain. Many Asian countries are beginning to experience moderate to severe water shortages, brought on by the simultaneous effects of agricultural growth, industrialization, and urbanization. These are due to growing populations and economies of Asian countries who are trying to make themselves better. In South Asia, home to nearly 1.6 billion people, cities are increasingly feeling the pressure of population growth and urbanization. It is estimated that 22 of 32 Indian cities face daily water shortages. In Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, many local residents have grown accustomed to waiting in queues for hours to obtain drinking water from the city's ancient stone water spouts. In Karachi, Pakistan, electricity and water shortages have led to protests and citywide unrest. So where does this leave Asia? It leaves Asian countries with a problem with no clear solutions. They do need agriculture and industrialization because they will suffer economically and socially if they don't, but on the other hand, it uses more water and causes pollution along the way. In South Korea alone, 300 tons of waste making fish die in rivers in India has deaths due to water population in their 14 major rivers, such as the Ganga, Narmada, and Indus, but we'll explain more on that later. Pollution is one major contributing factor to the crisis, as it has a significant impact on the quality and availability of water resources. One of the primary ways that pollution is affecting the Asian water crisis is through the contamination of freshwater sources. Many water sources in Asia are polluted with industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage, making the water unsafe for consumption and use. This has resulted in a significant increase in waterborne illnesses and diseases, which disproportionately affect vulnerable populations such as children and the elderly. In addition to contamination, pollution is also affecting the availability of water resources in Asia. Pollution reduces the amount of water that can be used for agriculture, industry, and household purposes, which exacerbates the water crisis. For example, pollutants such as heavy metals and pesticides can make water sources unsuitable for irrigation, while pollution in urban areas can lead to the depletion of groundwater supplies. So yes, pollution is a significant factor in the Asian water crisis, and it is crucial for countries to address the pollution that is essential to improving water availability and quality in the region. Governments, industry, and individuals all have a role to play in reducing pollution and protecting water resources for future generations, and more information will be presented later in the video. So, does climate change play a role in this? Yes, it does. Climate change is exacerbating the water crisis in Asia. Changing rainfall patterns and rising temperatures are altering the availability and distribution of water resources. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, and many countries are struggling to cope with the impacts of extreme weather events such as floods and cyclones. Another impact of climate change on water resources in Asia is rising temperatures. As temperatures rise, water demand for agricultural, industrial, and domestic use increases, while the supply of water decreases due to the increased evaporation and reduced river flow. This can lead to conflicts between different users of water resources and can also exacerbate existing water scarcity issues. Climate change is also affecting glaciers and snowpack in the Himalayas, which are a vital source of water for many rivers in Asia. As temperatures rise, glaciers are melting at an accelerating rate, which can lead to both floods and water shortages, depending on the time of year. Additionally, as the glaciers recede, they are leaving behind dangerous glacial lakes that can pose a significant risk to downstream communities. What impacts can be seen? One of the most immediate and visible impacts of pollution on people in Asia is the contamination of water sources. As previously mentioned, many water sources in Asia are polluted with industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage, making the water unsafe for consumption and use. This has resulted in a significant increase in waterborne illnesses and diseases, which disproportionately affect vulnerable populations such as children and the elderly. For example, as previously mentioned, in many parts of India, pollution in rivers and other water sources is a significant problem. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, more than half of India's rivers are polluted, with high levels of fecal coliform bacteria, heavy metals, and other pollutants. This has resulted in a range of health problems for people living near polluted water sources, including gastrointestinal illnesses, skin rashes, and eye contaminated with toxic chemicals and heavy metals. This has resulted in a range of health problems for people. So I am seeing no effects of the water crisis, right? Well, actually, you likely are. You see, as the water crisis continues in Asia, it does leave its impact across other parts of the world. One of those impactful ways is through food prices. The Asian water crisis is having a significant impact on agriculture in the region, which is responsible for a significant proportion of global food production. As water resources become scarcer and more polluted, the cost of producing food in Asia is likely to increase. This could lead to higher food prices not only in Asia, but also in other parts of the world that rely on imports of Asian food products. Those waterborne diseases aren't exclusive to Asia either. The health impacts of the Asian water crisis are not limited to the people living in Asia. Waterborne diseases and illnesses can spread beyond national borders, particularly in the age of global travel. For example, outbreaks of waterborne diseases such as cholera and typhoid have been reported in countries such as the United States and Europe, linked to contaminated food and water imported from Asia. Economically speaking, the Asian water crisis has significant implications for people around the world. What is Asia doing to solve their problem? Many Asian countries are investing in new water infrastructure to increase access to clean water and improve water management. This includes building new dams, reservoirs, and wastewater treatment plants. Rainwater harvesting. Some communities in Asia are turning to rainwater harvesting as a way to capture and store water for use during dry periods. This involves collecting rainwater from rooftops and other surfaces and storing it in tanks or cisterns. Water conservation. Many Asian countries are promoting water conservation measures to reduce water use and waste. This includes promoting efficient irrigation systems for agriculture, encouraging the use of low-flow toilets and showerheads, and implementing water pricing policies to discourage wasteful water use. Desalination. Some countries in Asia, such as Israel and Saudi Arabia, are investing in desalination technology to convert seawater into freshwater. This technology is becoming increasingly efficient and cost-effective, making it a viable solution for water-scarce regions. Public awareness campaigns. Many Asian countries are also launching public awareness campaigns to promote sustainable water management practices and encourage individuals to conserve water. Well, you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. While you are here, consider checking out this video right here.